Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all to the 2025 Certified Public Manager Program graduation. I'm Joy Grimmer, the Director for the Department of Administration. I'm here with Bashira Washington, the Administrator for Division of Human Resource Management. We're delighted to honor the Class 20 and recognize their achievement. For the past 18 months, they've been learning about management, leadership, and each graduate produced a process improvement capstone project that saved either time or money for their agency. I'm honored to be a graduate of the CPM Class 14. It provided valuable information and education about the state government and effective management practices. It also provided great networking opportunities with contacts that I still work with today. We would like to thank Governor Joe Lombardo for his support of the program and the investment that he makes into it. And we want to thank all of you for being here today to honor the graduates. To offer his personal congratulations to the CPM students, please join me in welcoming Governor Joe Lombardo.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, graduates. Congratulations. Well, what a great opportunity for the families to come together and recognize their loved ones or their coworkers in a great achievement. And quite often, I'm actually pleasantly surprised to see the response and the people that have gathered as a result of this achievement. For the state employees to be this interested in what's going on in their backyard, it's enlightening to me, because unfortunately, before I became governor, all I heard was of negative things reference state government. And my eyes were brought open when I got elected and moved up here to Carson City, and to see how hard the people in state government work. And quite often people form opinions of processes, and especially government processes, based off personal experience or conjecture or what they believe to be the case. And until you actually get into the system, you don't realize how good the people are. And the fact that you're all here in support of these graduates shows how good we are. And so I can't express how much I appreciate you being here and showing your support, and the excitement that it brings me to represent you and the state in the state of Nevada. And so as part of my comments today, I wanted to make sure that was the first and foremost of what I expressed in my gratification. But then I have to read formal comments because my communications director and Madeline would admonish me if I didn't do that. And sometimes I go off script a little bit and I get admonished after the fact. So I'm not going to do that today. So I'm going to try not to embarrass myself or you through the process. So, and I think it's important for these facts to come out, exactly what this program is, how hard they work through the process, and what is the result for the state as a result of this graduation. And I guess I can express the answer to that last question now, is a lot of times in government process, and I've gone through it my entire life, is we fail to bring the people up below us. And we failed to have a succession plan when people decide to move on in their lives, or in some cases they get terminated. That was supposed to be humorous. But the organization suffers from the void of institutional knowledge. And that's why this program is so important for us to continue seamlessly in moving forward with leadership within our environment and the customer service that we provide to our constituents. So without further ado, I already said welcome. Since 2005, CPM has certified over 750 graduates. Is this all accurate, Joy? Representing 40-plus agencies, local municipalities. It's the state's premier vehicle for succession planning, as I alluded to. Each graduate completed hundreds of hours of classroom instruction and outside assignments. They each produced a capstone project that addressed a customer service or quality improvement initiative within their agency. As you can imagine, we're a service agency, right? And quite often the complaint in government is we are way behind the times, right? Because it's attempting to turn a battleship. It doesn't happen quickly. Yet we're decades behind technology. And the importance of this is to bring those ideas forward sooner than later versus the snail mail of the suggestion box, and we can actually get some stuff done. So those of you who know me in my previous speeches, that word stuff is usually a different word. And I won't say that because there's kids present. She's not even listening anyway. You know I'm talking about you? Okay, in the last 20 years, Capstone's projects have realized a return of nearly $50 million in cost savings, process improvements, and customer service enhancements. Now I go off script again. So for those of you who are aware of what's going on in the world, and in the Trump administration, they have this program called DOGE, right? Department of Government Efficiency. And I get presented on more than one occasion, usually on a weekly basis, Governor, when are you going to implement a DOGE program within state government? And I have to always respond by saying Elon Musk and Donald Trump is way behind the times. Because in state government, that is an ongoing process. You got the governor's office or executive branch auditing committee, when we talk about strategies and efficiencies and improprieties. And that process has been well entrenched for quite some time, because that's how we do business, right? Ensure that taxpayers' money is spent appropriately. And we're not on the government dole per se. And I'm so proud of this program, and when I was educated on it upon taking office, it would have been one of my first recommendations to put into place, but it's already in place. And as you can attest to, now that I've said it, the success of the program. Thank you. That's all I could say, Bashir. Thank you. Thank you for allowing it to happen. Thank you for allowing it to happen. All right, more defined comments. Today we are honoring the 41 graduates for 2025. They represent 12 state agencies, 2 state boards, and 1 institution from the Nevada system of higher education. The capstone projects that this year's class produced enhanced state government operations. They saw over $584,000 in cost savings and reduced the time it takes to serve our citizens by 105,000. It says man hours on there. Am I allowed to say man hours? Well, the legislature had that argument a couple weeks ago. So labor hours, we'll say that, all right? So that's a round of applause. So I'm gonna give you, now I'm gonna give you a couple examples of capstone projects that I wouldn't say are worthy of mentioning. I think they're all worthy of mentioning, but Joy did me the favor identifying 3 key ones, and I'd like to convey you with those projects and give you some descriptive of those projects. We don't have the time to list and explain every one of them, but these are 3 important ones I think you would appreciate. So Helen Park from the Department of Correction. Helen, where are you at? Stand up. She saved the agency $20,000 per year by systematically reviewing the cheaper and more cost-effective I think I'm on this medicine right now. So cost-effective therapeutic drugs for inmates. Now, who would have ever thought that would have been an important piece, right? And, I just went through the board of an exam Hey, Dr. Work. That's her boss right there, right? Is that your, okay, good. Dr. Williams, we had a discussion on how do you dispose of expired medicines in the corrections environment. And you wouldn't believe how cumbersome and convoluted the system was and how much money was being wasted as a result of not being able to answer the questions or put a good process in place. And when we were talking about funding and a mechanism to take care of the problem, and as you can tell, this is personal to me because me and the doc are dealing with this over several months. The problem had presented itself for the last 20 years. And I think it's a little bit ridiculous, maybe it was because of Helen's effort, that we finally came up with an answer on how to deal with it. So, yeah, Helen, thank you. It's personal for me too, so. All right, Rob, I don't want to screw up your name. Guilleri? I always do it, don't I? Stand up, Bob. Rob, So Rob and I have probably been in, I don't know, 4 different events and presentations, and I've systematically screwed up his last name each time. So, but Rob is from the Division of Minerals, digitized the state's reclamation bonding process, and I have no idea what that means, saving the state of Nevada over $22,000 per year. Good job, Rob. And Rob, before I move off of you, can you tell what the room what that means? Stand up.
Reclamation performance bonding, so for each exploration mining operation before they put a shovel in your pit, bond what it would cost to obtain beforehand. So our agency manages one obtaining reclamation bond, and DEP manages another one.
Yeah, but we're not talking about her. Good job, buddy. Thank you. Okay, so I misspoke earlier. I said 3. There's actually 4. So Lupe Lopez. From the Nevada Department of Transportation, streamlined the onboarding of new field inspectors by 77% to save the state over $42,000 per year. And what do you mean by onboarding? The application process, the hiring process?
Training process during rumors getting on board.
That's it? I'm messing with you. Sit down. All right. And last but not least is Sarah Glasner. Sarah? From the Department of Taxation, implemented a process change that helped the agency recover $4.3 million in unpaid revenues and penalties. That's humongous. You know, the other ones we're talking about 42,000, you're talking about 4.3 million, right? So another clarification piece. So the Board of Examiners, we also have to sign off on bad debt where we failed to recover bad debt. And usually that's to the tune of 20 million, 27 million, 30 million. And it's frustrating, as you can imagine, that we just walk away from that process. And it's a result of a lot of factors. And for her to be able to accomplish this is magnanimous. So thank you. Thank you. Okay, here we come to the important part of the ceremony. On behalf of myself, the state's workforce, and its citizens, very important for people to realize that, let me say thank you and congratulations for taking on this important personal challenge in order to better serve our fellow citizens. Thank you. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Ms. Washington. She is our administrator for the Division of Human Resources, to come up and introduce our 2 class speakers, one from the north and one from the south, I believe, right? Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It always warms my heart to see this room so filled with friends and families and directors and managers who have supported these graduates throughout this stressful 18 months. So if you can all give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for being here. I would like to acknowledge the Office of Employee and Development. This program could not run as successfully as it does without the leadership of Bob Horgan. And the instructors, Becky Kennard, Crystal Borgman, and Will Kinson. So thank you. I'd like to bring up the first speaker for the Northern cohort, Robert Galleri, who is with the Department of Minerals.
Good afternoon. I'm Rob Galleri, the administrator for the Nevada Division of Minerals. I'm honored the class voted me as a class speaker, but I do see the irony in voting a geologist who literally got a degree to be out in the field away from everybody else as a class speaker. Nevertheless, I appreciate the support from the Northern class because it was there from day one. Today, we'll look back at the beginning of CPM nearly 2 years ago when all of us first met in the classroom and wondered, what did we just get ourselves into? Since then, a significant amount of work, determination, learning, and personal professional growth has occurred. On the first class exercise was a unique experience. I found myself being on the side of an argument I did not expect. The exercise was to evaluate the findings of a theoretical proposed lithium mine, and then either be arguing for or against it. As the deputy administrator of the Division of Minerals, I was placed on the side arguing against the mine. Although I could have quickly dismantled the argument against the mine with firsthand knowledge, CPM staff held their guns and forced me to be on the anti-development side, placing me in an unfamiliar role and requiring me to see a different perspective. This was a great example of what the CPM class expected from their students and stayed true throughout the program. The CPM staff expected full participation at all times. They put us in unique and sometimes uncomfortable situations, used real-life examples, had us be respectful at all times, apply these lessons in our existing jobs, understand multiple aspects and perspectives, and most of all, apply sound judgment in our decision-making. This is why the CPM program is by far and away the best training I've received from the state. Our Northern Nevada class learned if we ever have a new idea and need a devil's advocate for an argument, just reach out and ask Bill. He was always happy to find loopholes or weaknesses within our arguments and made us justify responses with experience or reasoning. As frustrating as it sometimes was in class, Bill, we knew it was strengthening our argument and ensuring that we were able to defend our facts and rationale. One of the most unique aspects of this program is the varied background and experiences from the fellow students. The class contained experience from natural resources, the best group in my opinion, gaming, HR, IT, law enforcement, accounting, customer service, and many others. Some of us have spent our entire careers at the state, while others had significant industry background. Heck, Colleen even had a culinary background and was featured more than once on the Food Network. Although we had varied experience and background, similarities quickly started to arise between each person highlighting challenges within their agencies and the state process. The CPM class helped break down the silos of state government. The class met nearly every aspect of the Governor Support Services core functions outlined in his 3-year strategic plan. No, Governor Lombardo, Rob did not pay me to say that. The relationship and connections between my classmates have already provided dividends and will continue into the future. I'd like to finish with my leadership quote that was never read in Northern Nevada class's promise. Yes, I'm looking at you, Becky. This leadership quote was from the 26th President, Theodore Roosevelt. Speak softly and carry a big stick. You will go far. Now, I'm sure some of you are starting to imagine yourselves walking around your office carrying a very big stick, just like a 1930s Catholic and school nun, ready to reprimand some of your other employees and the joys that would bring. But that's not quite what I'm trying to reference here. This class has taught us when we approach the situation calmly, with clear, concise communication, with the rules, laws, and our knowledge and expertise at our backs, or the big stick, we will become successful leaders and take ourselves and the state in the right direction. I want to thank Rob, Becky, and Crystal for all their hard work, knowledge, and dedication throughout the process. I also want to thank my classmates here that had to tolerate me for almost 2 years. And I want to congratulate them for well-deserved and well-earned Certified Public Manager certification. Thank you.
I'd like to now bring up from the Southern Cohort, Tricia Bookhart from the Gaming Control Board.
Good afternoon. I would first like to begin by expressing my sincere gratefulness for the existence and the continuation of this incredible program. So thank you to the governor, to DHRM and our administrator, and especially to the Office of Employee Development. Thank you to all of those who ensure that this opportunity remains available for our state employees. I'd like to also extend thanks specifically to the Nevada Gaming Control Board, my chair, Kirk Hendrick, the board members, executive leadership, and the staff for the opportunity to be chosen to participate. I would like to especially thank my team, the Nevada Gaming Control Board Talent Management Unit, my CPM mentor, Marla, my fellow classmates of Cohort 20 in the South and in the North. Love you guys. My accountability partner, thank you, Kev. My CPM capstone team, my family, and of course my husband, for your commitment to help me successfully navigate this opportunity and your support in every endeavor within my entire career within the state. Indeed, I consider it a privilege and an honor to have been nominated by my class for this incredible opportunity to attempt to encapsulate in words the profoundness of the CPM experience and to communicate to you all that it possesses and held for each one of us. I do believe that the subcategories of foundations and operations given to each part of the program structure were not by happenstance. Instead, I'm confident that it was an intentional indication to foretell what we would gain through this program. We gained an understanding of where we come from as a state. We were provided an explanation for why and how we operate as we do, and the impetus to serve as an encouragement for what we can yet achieve. Like any incredible and successful force, this class was made up of a diverse group of intelligent, service-oriented, passionate public servants, led by an incredible CPM team who were willing to serve in any role necessary to ensure our success, whether that meant wearing a wig, creating multiple fictional companies and scenarios that they called real-world experience that stressed us all out, ensuring that everyone had a voice, fostering collaborations with each other and many flip charts, encouraging each other through hard times and even unexpected times, and even making space for us to join in celebrating each other, even with our personal wins. Through their tutelage, we transformed every classroom space, whether in person or virtually, into the space necessary to navigate our program curriculum. I recall vividly the day Becky challenged us by stating, if you are not physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted, you probably haven't fully embraced what CPM has to offer. And this was not a reference to exhaustion that makes you want to retreat or not get up again, but very much the contrary. It was the type of exhaustion that left you looking for more, needing more, and fully, confidently, and complete to the fact that you could do more. The CPM coursework strategically honed our skills and kindly cultivated those that we were in need of. We saw ourselves and our agencies reflected in the historic homage that was given to the establishment of each agency and the structure of this, our great state. We gained insights to the goals and objectives that laid the parameters for every state position that now exists. However, I think the most poignant takeaway that I have from CPM is the story that is yet to be written. And that is, of course, because these incredible graduates, my fellow graduates, it is our story to write. With this graduation, the CPM program has successfully passed the torch into the hands of a dynamic group of professionals whose public service will no doubt be read about, recognized by generations to come, and referenced for the success that has been accomplished. So as we prepare for this final leg of this incredible journey, I'd like to take an opportunity to highlight some words and phrases that will now forever change us. They will forever be etched in our mind, and they have helped us get to this moment. Words like journal entries, gratitude cards, and jars, mountain climber questions. What's your temperament today and overall? Do you have an extra copy of any of the handouts? Capstone, capstone, and capstone again. CPM tools, worksheets, stakeholders, and who are they? Public sector, budgets, it's not in the budget, budgets, Gilder stacks, and whatever those are. Did you finish all of your trainings? Are you using emotional intelligence? Don't wait till the last minute, just to name a few. We as public servants don't do the work for the income. We do this work for the outcome. As such, the time that we have shared and the tenets of this program will forever be one of the greatest experiences of my career. To our CPM instructors and fearless leaders who instructed, encouraged, and embraced us, how could we ever say thank you? To my fellow classmates, I say that it has been a profound pleasure to know you, an honor to learn with you, and I would like to personally congratulate each of you. So as we cross over to become part of the illustrious cohorts of those who have successfully completed this program, may we remember to stay committed to speaking the most simplistic words, doing the most common actions, and completing the most regular duties, which we know hold the greatest and most significant impact upon our state and our communities. As you look back, don't forget to give back. And most of all, in the words of Rath and Clifton, let's remember to always continue to fill each other's buckets. Thank you.
Thank you. We'd like to now celebrate our Northern graduating class.
In front?
Samantha Bellwood from Truckee Meadows Community College. Christopher Citra from Gaming Control Board. Robert Galleri from Department of Minerals. Sarah Glazner from taxation. I didn't say it right?
She's got a different last name.
John Gomez from the Department of Motor Vehicles. Heidi Gordon from the Department of Public Safety. Martin Hefner from the Department of Motor Vehicles. James Kellums from Agriculture. Colleen Keechler from the Employment, Training, and Rehabilitation. Nanette Maxwell from the Department of Transportation. James Murphy from the Department of Transportation. Jana Pisani from the Employee Training and Rehabilitation. Vanessa Ramey from the Department of Health and Human Services. Hillary Reynolds from Conservation and Natural Resources. Katie Roashi from Health and Human Services. Greg Rosenberg from Conservation and Natural Resources. Kyle Schultz from the Division of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. Deborah Thomas from Health and Human Services.
Did she really pay you to come here?
Nicole Wilson from Department of Public Safety. Let's give it up for our Northern graduating class. I'd like to introduce our Southern graduating class. Kevin Adams from Gaming Control Board. Jason Banyales from the Cannabis Control Board. Trisha Bookhart from Gaming Control Board. Abby Chalupnik from Health and Human Services. Teresa Grizzle from Health and Human Services. Jacob Huber for Business and Industry. Julie Jimenez from Health and Human Services. John Lestuski from Gaming Control Board. Edward Lopez from the Department of Public Safety. Guadalupe Lopez from the Department of Transportation. Megan Lau from Conservation and Natural Resources.
No wonder we can't get anything done.
Amber Mason from the Department of Public Safety. Alicia Nagy from the Department of Corrections.
Normally it's Maggie, but it's her case, it's Nagy.
Kelly Nesto from Health and Human Services. Helen Park from the Department of Corrections. Steve Prentice from the Department of Corrections. Angie Rojas from Business and Industry. Erica Scott from the Department of Taxation. Latrice Walker from the Department of Public Safety. If we can give our Southern cohorts a round of applause. So with that, if everyone can please rise and let's celebrate our Class 20th of Certified Public Managers. We want to thank the governor for taking his time out on his busy schedule to be here. We are going to take some photos, so if friends and family, if you guys can just hang out a bit while the class takes photos, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming.